Alright, what's up everybody? It's your man, Fat Man Buddha. Please say the Fat Man. And we are back here yet again. How y'all doing out there, man? Hope everything's feeling real up and up. Today we are gonna do something that I love to do. And we're gonna be reading from Revelations 20. And in Revelations 20 it says, "The mystery of the seven stars which thou sawest in my right hand, and the seven golden candlesticks. The seven stars are the seven angels of the seven churches, and the seven candlesticks which thou saw are the seven churches." So yes, hi there, how you doing? Welcome to Copper Tone News, where we talk about things from a copper tone perspective. This is not your average conspiracy channel, because first and foremost, I really don't like repeating a lot of things, which is why it's so hard for me to make a part two. But what I do like to do is keep you ahead of everything as much as possible, as much as you'll listen. So today, what we are being ahead of is the fact that the Bible, from beginning to end, is about no one else but the melanated people on this planet. That's just point blank period. If you're not melanated or albino, you have nothing to do with the Bible. Unless you're a demon. I forgot about them. So, when we get to Revelations, we need to understand certain things. But before we even get out of Genesis, we need to understand certain things. One, that we are the only people that's in that Bible. And two, that everything in that Bible is related to us. It's not related to anybody else. It's related to us. So those Nazis over there in Palestine that are terrorizing, that sit here and they claim to have red heifers.
Okay, you will not believe this update of the red heifer Bible prophecy. So they've just finished building the $1 billion altar on the Mount of Olives. If you've been paying attention to what's been going on in this certain country with all the wars, the major reason why the other team attacked this team was because of this Bible prophecy. Because you see, the Muslim Dome of the Rock is on the Temple Mount right now. And so by saying we are going to do this red heifer sacrifice on April 10th, it is an all-out declaration towards that nation saying we are going to take you guys out and rebuild the third temple. And so all the Muslims are like, absolutely not, because the dome is completely sacred to the Muslim faith. And so if it's destroyed, not only are the Muslim nations around it going to have a problem, it'll be every Muslim in the world will have a problem. And so they've literally just said the 10th of April is going to be the day they sacrifice the red heifers. So if you want to make sure,
and that they're going to sacrifice a red heifer to open up a new temple, that's a lie. That's a lie, because you see, that's not Israel over there. It's over here. Yes, Israel is over here.
Did you know that ancient America has a map of, as it being written in the Old Testament? It's a map of the Old Testament, the land of Israel, also the land of Egypt. Now this, what we would call some Hebrews actually have found this. They got it, I guess, from our own land, and they had this map up on their site, and guess what happened? They took their channel down. Let me go ahead and read to you. The America is the Old World, Volume 2. This is a book, The America is the Old World, Volume 2. You can get this on Amazon. It says here in Figure 3, the Old Testament map of ancient America shows you that Lower Mesopotamia, or Lower Egypt, Babylon, Israel, Jerusalem, and Moab are all on this map. Ancient Mesopotamia was in the Americas because Meru was the Sumerian Akkadian god of the Amorites, aka mound builders. Now, you know, you go through St. Louis, you go through Tennessee, you go through, even in Georgia, there were mounds that they completely tore down. Those were the ancient people who had copper colored skin. Those were their grave sites. Let me keep reading. The Meru, which is called among the Moors, the oldest indigenous people in the world, according to the United Nations. Now let us see if we can tie the Sumerian god Ameru to the Western serpent or the dragon, to the ancient tribe of the people of the Americas. Well, the Ameru, Wichita, or the Dihamundi Moors are the oldest indigenous people on the planet, according to the United Nations. The original name of America was Ameru, according to Webster's 1936 Universal Dictionary. The word American is defined as an aboriginal or one of various copper-colored natives found in American continents by the Europeans. The original application of the name was Ameru, before it was America. So the people that were here were copper-colored just like Christ. Because these people fell because of their sins and worshiping snake gods, dragon gods, they went away from the original God. The first commandment, thou shalt not have any other gods before me. Genesis 1. The original American Ameru, according to Webster's Dictionary, the American is defined as aboriginal, one of the various copper-colored natives found in the American continents of Europe. The original application of the name Ameru, end quote, is derived from the point Ameru, Westerner serpent god, which makes sense because the worship of the serpent dragon, ancestors, which makes sense because of the worship of the serpent dragon, Kalanadi ancestrin Chakara alignment, was chiefly assembled in the Americas. The flag of Mexico is the eagle, the phoenix, killing the serpent and the dragon. Mexico, a Mexican, Olmec, Old Mexican, was part of Wichita. Washita, ex-Mer Empire of Mexico, used to cover South Central and North America. Mexico used to extend all the way up into Canada.
Israel is Virginia. All right. I guarantee you, you go look up a new church in Virginia, or it might be hard to find. Go look up a new church in Virginia, and you will see. Yes, you will see that this new church has all of the religious. They're all really the same, but you know how people like to divide them: the Catholics, the Christians, and the Muslims. It's all the same thing to me. It really doesn't matter. But what matters is this: they have you looking over there when the new church is actually right here. Think about it. What do you think that last push was about when they tried to when they raided the synagogue in New York? Y'all forgot about that real quick. You ever wonder why they didn't keep raiding them? And if they did keep raiding the synagogues in New York, why didn't they report it? They were crawling all through the sewers, kidnapping kids. But you find a tunnel. You find a tunnel that goes underneath, I think it was a preschool, and radio silence. Radio silence. So, are they getting ready to open a new synagogue? To open anything holy, you have to put the blood of the Lamb on those doors. And you have to pray for 7 days and 7 nights. This is a Hebrew tradition. This is like, you can't sit here and talk about you a Hebrew and you want to be spiritual, but you don't want to go into the history of what our rituals are. And our ritual is what? Before any holy site can be opened, before any holy site can be used for a house of God, Hawah, then only Hawah, hallelujah, only they are permitted to sit in that house for 7 days and for 7 nights. 7 days and for 7 nights, you have to make offerings. You have to continuously pray outside of the door. You have to fast. You hear what I'm trying to tell you? You have to cut off. A lot of priests have to cut off their beards. Well, for us, it's not our beards. We have to cut off our locks, and we have to burn them as an offering towards God, Hawa. But the most important thing is you have to put lamb's blood on that door the same way that Moses did. Because when Moshe told his people to put lamb's blood on your door, what happened? Death passed them by. You have to put lamb's blood on top of any new religious symbol, so death cannot dwell there. So I wonder, is there a new synagogue being opened in Virginia? Or is there a new synagogue being opened in New York? Here's a better question. If we're not living on the Holy Land and red heifers are only grown in the Holy Land, why is everyone focused on Israel as being the Holy Land? If that's the case, shouldn't those red heifers have come from Israel instead of coming from Texas? I did not know that Texas was one of the only places in the world that can actually produce a red heifer. I could have sworn that India had the black heifer, and I believe China had the white heifer, and somebody had a yellow heifer. But oh no, not yellow, it was a blue heifer. But Texas, I think they said Texas was the only place in the world that can produce a red heifer. But they want you to be convinced that Israel, those Nazis over there in Palestine, that's the real holiest place in the world. You must be out of your mind. You must be out of your mind. Let's just be honest about this. Those Nazis are living in a third world country. And I know. I'm sorry, let me rephrase that. Those Nazis that's living over there in Palestine are living in a first world country. See, I forgot. That's another video I have to drop. From now on, we have to start talking like Freemasons. And it's very simple. It's very, very simple. Most of what they taught you, reverse it. And use your common sense when you reverse it. So, in other words, we're going to do it like this. South America is a third world country. Africa is a third world country. West Asia is a third world country. Places like Indostan, Myanmar, Tibet, Vietnam, Cambodia, Korea. All those are, well, not Korea, not anymore, but all those are third world countries. What makes a third world country other than being overpopulated by black and brown people? Yeah. I mean, let's just be honest. Every time you see black and brown people, what's the first thing these homunculus chimeras say? This is a third world country. But what makes a third world country? Well, to understand this, you must think like a Freemason. Most importantly, to figure this out, let's just think like a merchant. A third world country. All these third world countries can provide their own clean water naturally, provide their own food by either raising cattle or just eating it off of the trees naturally. And all of the medicine All of the medicine is naturally grown in a third world country. Those are the three most important components to being a dominating civilized society. You must be able to provide your own food, you must be able to provide your own clean water, and you must be able to provide your own medicine without outside influence. In other words, all third world countries are strictly export. Why are all third world countries strictly export? Because no one can give them anything. No one can give them a thing unless they steal it first. So, when I tell you that North America, Amaru Khan, the place we're living in right now, this is a third world country. Remember how everybody used to take offense to that joke that Africans made? Oh, North America, you're just a third world country with smartphones. They're not lying. They are not lying at all. We are a third world country because America is strictly export. Think about this. We have the most copper in the world. Why the hell are we getting copper from outside of America? And yet we ship, I think, the third most copper in the world. We have the most steel. We have the most iron. We have all the medicine here. If they would just stop poisoning everything. We had clean water. Then they started poisoning everything. And now they're trying to stop us from growing our own food. They're trying to turn us into a first world country. What does a first world country always have? Homunculus chimeras. The only thing that a first world country can produce is people. And they can barely produce that. You understand? They can only produce people. They can only, I'm going to keep saying it, all first world countries can only produce people and export those people. But if you notice, at the same time, the only way that all these first world countries have made any significant advance in technology is because of the influence from the third world people. If you're going to talk like a Freemason, you have to make sense. Anyone who says that I'm not making perfect sense is either being a deliberate dumbass or he's just a dumbass. What are the three things that make a third world country? You have to be able to provide your own food. You have to have natural clean water. And you have to be able to provide your own medicine. You have a third of the world's wealth. You have a third of the world's wealth. South America is a third of the world's wealth. Africa is a third of the world's wealth. Amaru Khan is a third of the world's wealth. In all honesty, the Americas and Africa could literally only do trade with each other and lock the entire world out and let it starve. We could literally let the world starve. Because you have to understand, all the fresh water flows from where? From the south. All the darkest people are where? In the south. Now, add South Asia to that. The entire southern hemisphere from east to west locks out the world. North America is the only place that's going to be able to survive. We are, I think, third or fourth in producing wheat. We are supposed to be number one in vegetation growth, but now we've been knocked down to 4 or 5. We're supposed to be number one in fruit growth, but we've been knocked down to 7th or 8th. Uh, I already told you, poisons all over the place. Water supply. Here's another question: how the hell are all these cow farms and chicken farms going up in flames, and yet the damn stores have not ran out yet? How many of y'all ready for uncomfortable?
Massive fire at a Texas dairy farm that killed 18,000 cows last Tuesday. Fire officials say a piece of equipment used at the farm is to blame. That fire also critically injured one person. Now, he still has not determined exactly what component of the equipment failed. Identical pieces of gear have caught on fire previously at this farm and at another.
How many of y'all are ready to have an uncomfortable conversation about what they really destroyed? And bruh, all these dead people in the world, and they haven't had to make a new graveyard yet. I'm gonna say that again. All the dead people in America, and they have not had to make a new graveyard yet.
A newly opened restaurant within New York City has received approval as the United States' first licensed eatery to serve human flesh on its menu. The restaurant, simply called Skin, received a license after petition in the state and federal government over laws against cannibalism. The restaurant's owner, Mario Dossi, a 4-star Michelin chef, said, and we quote, "As a species, we are at the top of the food chain, and the only meat left to tackle was other humans. We battled long and had to be able to serve human meat in our restaurants, and the government finally conceded that we were in the right." End of quote. Dusty says that he has been fighting cannibal ordinance laws for over 10 years and was finally given the green light after he promised that the meat would only come from people who had donated their bodies specifically to his restaurant, knowing full well that they would be eaten. He added, "And we have to keep meticulous records, and there is a lot of paperwork someone has to fill out before they die and before they can be eaten. We do pay handsomely for body donations, though, and the money can be used for anything, since funeral expenses become zero when you donate your body to be eaten." Dusty says that there are plenty of dishes on the menu that do not include human meat, but those leery of the process should not order at all. According to Dusty, just like on those packages of candies with allergy warnings that say the machines also are used to make items with nuts, our utensils are also used to cook human meat. So don't come in if you are not down with what we do.
You ever notice how funeral homes always have all these acres of land, but yet and still, they never go outside half of your acre? That's weird, isn't it? How many of y'all are ready to have an uncomfortable situation? Because they've been telling you that you've been eating humans. They have deliberately forced you into cannibalism. Y'all not ready for that conversation. I'm going to say it again. They have deliberately forced you into cannibalism. And they've been doing this for the past 60 or 70 years. How old is McDonald's again? How the hell have you had all these cow bombings and chicken bombings and you haven't had a shortage on food yet? Y'all really not, like, y'all are moving so fast to cling on to the next conspiracy. My bad. Y'all are rushing trying to cling on to the next conspiracy that you haven't had time to really digest what just happened in front of your eyes and what you see right now.
This is why you should be careful what you eat. In 1990, Joe Matheny opened up a burger stand. It became very popular, but what many didn't know is that they were eating burgers made out of humans. See, Joe had a rough childhood, and as an adult, him and his wife were addicted to that white rock. One day his wife left him with their baby and ran away with her pimp. This made Joe angry. That night, he searched under a bridge looking for his wife and her pimp because he wanted to end their lives. But when he couldn't find them, he decided to take his anger out on other dope heads and homeless people around the area. That night, he unalived 5 people in 7 hours. He was finally caught and blamed for 2 of those murders, but he only spent 18 months in jail because of the lack of evidence. Once he got out, he realized he had an addiction for unaliving people, this time taking his victims' meat and opening up a burger stand. When he eventually ran out of meat, he went on another spree to get more, but eventually one of his victims got away, and he was caught and police arrested him. When talking to the cop, he said he would sell pork rolls and human meat mixed together all the time, saying if you season them just right, they both tasted the same.
I mean, really digest what these people are telling you. They are telling you that cow and chicken facilities are going up in flames. They are telling you that cows are being burnt alive. They are telling you that chickens are being burnt alive. How in the hell hasn't there been a beef or chicken shortage? They already told you that all the boneless wings in America are really just rats.
It's about an article that's been shared thousands of times already on Facebook, and it has one of our neighbors pretty grossed out.
Hi, my name is Leslie, and I'm from Capitol Heights, Maryland. I've seen this headline on Facebook that says there's more than 1 million pounds of rat meat being sold in the USA for boneless chicken.
So that's how it's made. Still hot.
Wow, look at them all. And you do some nice work.
That's right, man. There's your food. There's your protein block.
So they're willing to feed you rats, cats, and dogs. What makes you think they wouldn't feed you another human being? Hell, New York is already drinking them. Or did you really sit here and forget that New York told you that they are using a water-based crematory?
How's it going, YouTube? So I'm looking at websites and I came across an article talking about a new way to dispose of human bodies. Instead of burning them in a crematory, they have a new unit that liquefies them. And that's good. You know, it talks about how it's a little safer for the environment, and you know, whatever's a little bit safer and cleaner is all good with me. The problem I see is in the website, it goes on to talk about how the liquid, the remains, will be added to the municipal water supply. which means it'll be put back in your drinking water, which means you will be drinking dead people. So I'll play the video of the actual machine, and I'll put a link to the website below so you can just look at it. It does indeed say that it will be added to the water supply. So kind of makes you think. Soylent Green, people consuming people. Crazy shit, guys. With that said, have a good day.
This is the resonator, which is basically a chamber. Unlike flame cremation, it's not using combustion. It will use a water and alkali process, and that water and alkali process will chemically reduce the body to ash in a similar time to cremation. Well, the operator would obviously come to the system. He has a body in a silk or woolen or indeed bioplastic coffin sitting at the side. He would simply open the door, pull the tray out a little bit. He would then have this special trolley which would take the coffin up to the edge of the tray. He would then be able to, with one hand, slide it out because it has rollers inside, slide it out into the back of the unit, close the tray, then close the door. What it would have to do then is press one button which will basically ensure that the body has been weighed and that the amount of potassium hydroxide and water has been added, and then press a button to lock it and press a button to go. It's as simple as that. He walks away and comes back 2.5 to 3 hours later to remove the ash. Removal of the ash is really just a reversal. Open the door, take the tray out, have the trolley come up with a special tray on the end, and then take the ash out to the end into the tray and taking away for processing and removal of any medical implants and fillings, basically, so that doesn't end up in the ash itself.
And they're not flushing that water out into the river or out into the sea. They are reusing that water. Okay. And you know, it kind of goes back to when I think about what Mr. Bobby Hemmett said. When he said that not everybody dreams. You know, you have to have a certain particular spark to be able to have a dream. And the only reason why most white people take melatonin is because they don't have the soul capable to dream. So I was thinking real hard on that subject. Because how can you get a mass multitude to dream when the key ingredient to dreams is melanin? And then you couple in the fact of our skin is melanin. Our blood is melanin. Our hair is melanin. Our bones have melanin. All these dead bodies, and they haven't made a new graveyard yet.
Highwayna, they don't want to know the truth. Not the truth with an F. And the truth is, you're right. America is not the land of the free. If we're going to speak on mass incarceration, police brutality, nearly 100,000 black women going missing every year, and most of those cases aren't solved. We're dealing with the same things that people deal with in third world countries. There are even places here that don't have clean water. Flint, Michigan still has a lead level in the water of 9 parts per billion. They'll tell you that people just don't have clean water in Africa. They'll tell you that South Africa is the third world country. We are dealing with an energy crisis as well. So you're right, America is a third world country with a Gucci belt on. Not just any Gucci belt, like the kind you buy from Small Street.
An unsettling situation in Mississippi, Jackson, Mississippi to be exact. It's been revealed 215 bodies were buried in unmarked graves behind a state jail in Jackson, of course. Attorney Ben Crump is now calling for an investigation. Families of the dead reportedly had no idea until last month. Some of them, those grave sites were only labeled by a number and a metal rod. Joining us to talk.
It is our first up-close look at this unmarked graveyard.
It's going to change Texas history.
Experts aren't even close to analyzing all of the remains. Young students allowed to study the site are amazed.
It's mind-blowing.
95 sets of remains found at the site where Fort Bend ISD is building its new technical center. So far, 48 remains have been exhumed, 20 of those forensically analyzed. It is still unclear how they died.
We could have had yellow fever running through or any other kinds of diseases.
Dr. Katrina Whiteley says the remains she studied were all male except one female, all of them African American. It's believed they were prison inmates leased by the state to plantation owners after the emancipation.
We're looking at.
And I know what you're saying. What about all the unmarked graves? They just found an unmarked grave in Tennessee, Texas, Alabama, Mississippi, Florida. Y'all don't find that suspicious that they are just finding all these unmarked graves by all these prisons, and they all share the same damn story? All their organs are missing. Has anybody seen the bodies yet? Has anybody seen a bone yet? How long have they been doing this? Well, if you're one of us, you know they've been doing this since forever. But if you're a homunculus chimera, you just can't wrap your hand around any of this. That's why I say this is copper tone news for a copper tone perspective. Because we're not, on this channel, we're not having those pacifying conversations that everybody else have with these homunculus chimeras. In the words of my teacher, if you don't know that Egypt was black, that's not my fault. That was you who missed that train when I told you to come on and get on. I got on that train, I already left. So if you trying to come to me, all these homunculus chimeras talking about, oh, Egypt was black, we don't care. On this channel, we strictly do not care because we are moving past all that. We are well into Tartaria now, and we're about to move past Tartaria. These homunculus chimeras are going to start saying, well, you know, the Atlanteans, they could have been black. These homunculus chimeras are going to start saying, well, you know, the Native Americans, we think they were black. And I'm telling you, stop giving the devil a cookie simply because they're finally telling the truth. No one cares. No one cares. No one cares at all that now you want to tell the truth. That's how you know that it's no longer a game for them to sell their soul anymore, and we don't care. We really don't, because all those decades where it was a game for you to sell your soul and to kill innocent people, where was all this truth then? You sold your soul for a lie, and you benefited from it. Now you're trying to redeem your soul with the truth, and I guarantee you, you won't be benefited from it, because no one cares. We have already had that whole Black Egypt conversation a whole 80 years ago. No one cares. No one gives a fuck. No one cares. It's too late now. And I'm going to keep saying that part. I'm going to be a broken record on that part. It's too late now. We don't give a. We don't care. You spent generations selling your soul to uphold a lie and reap the benefits of that lie. And now that there's no more benefits in the lie, you want to try and tell the truth for your child's sake? Man, fuck y'all. We don't care for real. We don't. We don't. Let's come on, y'all. We don't. And if you do, if you all of a sudden care that Egypt, now you want to agree that Egypt is black simply because some homunculus chimera say it, we still don't care. You made your choice and you missed that train right along with them because you wanted to blend in with them. Motherfucker, more power to you. We don't care. What we do care about is purging this land. That's all we care about is purging this land. And the best way to purge this land is to follow my plan. You heard what Trump said. I know you heard what Trump said, but see, y'all not thinking like a Freemason. Trump was doing a whole lot of Freemason talk his first run to presidency. And what did he say? If you vote Biden back into office, if you vote Biden into office, he's going to drive this nation into the ground. Immigrants are going to be running all over the place. The killers and the rapists, just the worst of the worst. They are going to empty out their prisons and send their worst here. Sure enough, y'all voted for Biden, and sure enough, here we are. Donald Trump is part of my plan. So of course, he's going to be out here telling you what my plan is. And y'all still chose the devil because y'all don't want to look for yourself. So Donald Trump, he gave y'all a warning the first time. Once again, he's giving y'all a warning, and he's telling you what the next phase of my plan is. Because you see, now I've brought all these immigrants over, and I told y'all a few videos ago, we are going to put all these immigrants who is really NATO into the black communities. Black communities being indigo children. And from there, they are going to push outward into white communities and kill them. It's just that simple. I had no anger. I had no anger at all. You can't be angry at something that you never loved. You can be disgusted with it. You can be tired of it. But don't for a second think that I hate them, because to hate something, you have to love it first. And I've never loved these demons, these creatures, these parasites, these homunculus chimeras. You understand? And for all of y'all who keep on telling me that I need to go out here and seek Jesus and find God, don't be a dumbass. Don't sit here and act like God never sent out divine retribution. Don't y'all love to bring up every time y'all see a transsexual, y'all love to bring up Sodom and Gomorrah. So you can accept that divine retribution, but you can't accept this one. Why? Why is it so hard for you to accept that these homunculus chimeras have a divine retribution on their heads? And they're going to pay for it. Again, they know it better than you do. They read this Bible better than you do, because this Bible is literally our people. What has gone to pass and what is yet to come. Before they called it the Holy Bible, we used to call it the coming forth by day and by night. And God said, "What, I shall come to you like a thief in the night." Do not accept most of God's words just because they favor you. And I understand why a lot of people are scared, because it's the end of the world. And we're not scared of the destruction on this earth. We're scared of judgment. Hell, I'm right there with you. I'm not saying I lived a perfect life. I'm far from being holy, nor do I want to be holy. I'm something like Isaiah. I'm the type of person that gets drunk in the bar and starts preaching the word of God. If you know, you know. So what does that mean? That means that if you have the conscious mind to be afraid of God, then you have the conscious mind to repent. You still have time to make things right. It's them that have no more time. They literally have nothing else. That's why they want to pump out so much of the truth in hopes that somebody gets accepted. No one's being accepted. No one. No one. For what reason? Exactly. You can't think of one. You can't think of one. For all you people who want to sit here, oh, the past is the past. Never forget Trayvon Martin. Never forget Tamir Rice. And they all said the same thing, didn't they? They fear from their lives from this 14 and 9-year-old child. The devil will make any excuse to attack you. But God don't need no reason to defend you. Alright. And I think that's another thing that makes a lot of people nervous. Is the fact that God, after all your years of sitting here telling God, where were you during slavery? Well, now here comes God to liberate you. And y'all are scared out of your mind. I think that's the funniest thing in the world. Here comes God, Huah, hallelujah, to liberate you, to give you the power to liberate yourself. And you're scared out of your mind. Because if Huah is real, if hallelujah is real, then that judgment on your ass is real too. Yeah. But like I said, we are going to be doing a lot of exemptions. We are going to be doing a lot of exemptions. We're not gonna judge you on the carnal sins that have been forced upon you and taught to you by these homunculus chimeras. We are more or less going to judge you on local sins. And what I mean by local sins is that, you have full knowledge of a lie, you've bore false witness, you've stolen, you've slept with your neighbor's wife or husband, you've killed for no reason, you've raped, yeah, just all the local sins are going to be judged. But as far as carnal sins, like cannibalism, because a lot of you didn't realize that you were being cannibals. Again, how the hell can a cow and chicken farm go up in flames and there is not a food shortage somewhere? All this meat and chicken is getting recalled, yet there is not a beef or chicken shortage somewhere. Crazy, isn't it? Somewhere, as much as y'all like to put videos on YouTube and Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, somewhere someone has a video of there being a beef and chicken shortage. Did y'all get one? Or was those shelves always full? Even 1 or 2 months after it happened. Those shelves were always full, weren't they? So is it old meat? Or is it fresh meat from something that you wouldn't normally eat? Alright. I just want to ask that question. Again, before we get started, I like to say that Revelations 20, the mystery of the 7 stars which thou sawest in my right hand and the 7 golden sticks. The 7 stars are the angels of the 7 churches, and the 7 candlesticks are the 7 churches. Hoa, hallelujah. Now, it is not a hidden secret that there are churches all over the world. It is a belligerent secret, an ignorant secret, because it shouldn't really be a secret, that temples all over the world have their own angels appointed by God. So, I want to make this perfectly clear. There is a reason for the ritual of putting lamb's blood or the blood of a heifer on the top of a door frame when you build a new church or temple. You must allow the spirit of Hawa, hallelujah, to come in and rest there before it can be called Hawa's house. This is a Hebrew ritual. I'm telling you, you need to look in New York or you need to look in Virginia and see if there is a new synagogue opening. Either Virginia, New York, or Philadelphia. Those three places make up the territories of Israel. New York, Virginia, and Philadelphia. You need to look. Do you understand? You need to look and see if you cannot find a new synagogue that is soon to be open. What if I told you that Moloch, yes, Moloch that you've been tricked into thinking was this horrible, evil specter, what if I told you that she was actually an angel that was presiding over a temple that came under attack? Like I told you before, when a celestial angel is killed in the spirit, they must resurrect in the flesh and then return to the spirit. It's sort of like a break and a healing trip. You know, you just got shot, so now you have to spend 6 weeks in the hospital. You know what I'm saying? Same thing with this. You were just slain in the spirit, so now we have to find you safe haven in the flesh. But somehow, some way, Moloch got captured by our enemies. And Moloch was set and sealed in a totem. And ever since this totem was set and sealed, anyone who is chosen to be resurrected as the flesh of Moloch is stillborn. They don't draw a breath because they are meant for a specific spirit, a specific soul, a specific angel. Here's the best part. Here is the absolute best part. These idiots have lost the totem. Again, everything started in 2007. These idiots have lost the totem. Beelzebub has found his wife's totem. And it's going to be a 3-part ritual, those 3 days and nights. The first part ritual is going to be the cleansing ceremony, because not only did Beelzebub find the totem that was sealed, but Beelzebub also has found a suitable body for Moloch to inhabit. So, all that's taken care of. Now we just need to have everything cleansed. The totem has to be cleansed before it can break. The soul of Moloch has to be cleansed before she can be released. And the flesh has to be cleansed before it could be inhabited by Moloch. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, and how can I put this? On the second day of night of the ritual, of course, that's going to be the wedding. That is going to be the wedding that we've all been waiting for. Like I said, the wedding is going to take place in Georgia. I hope to see all of you there. If you don't show, I understand. If you do, hey, I hope, you know what I'm saying, you have a good time. Now, the reason why it's taking place in Georgia, and where in Georgia, there was a city police command center, a new police command center that was supposed to be built. And this police command center in Georgia that they were doing all these protests about, which I'm so happy they did a protest about, because they let the entire universe know that, hey, we don't want this. This is not what we want. We want this historical site to be left alone. They are building on top of a pyramid, because there are still pyramids in Georgia. They are building on top of a pyramid, trying to reestablish their rule over this land. That, ladies and gentlemen, is going to be the ceremonial place of where Moloch and Beelzebub are to be wed. Again, congratulations. Congratulations. How can I explain this? The reason why, and I guess it's okay to say this now that it's almost over. The reason why that pyramid is so important, that a lot of people don't know, especially homunculus chimeras, there is a natural water supply underneath that pyramid that has been untainted and is sealed inside of Amber Rose capsule. So, and it's that same Amber Rose capsule that you're going to start pushing through from the bottom of Georgia and try to start to break up the cement and the concrete and the streets and the roads, and you're going to see what's really an illusion or not. But yes, you heard that right. Beelzebub, Moloch are to be married. Once Beelzebub marries Moloch, Beelzebub will resume her command over her station. She will go through a physical manifestation and inhabit a body. And for 21 days, man, she has to bear witness to this world in the flesh for 21 days. And let's just say I'm glad that she's going to be coming as a 16-year-old and not as a 6-year-old. Do not be distracted. Please, people, do not be so fast to latch on to the next conspiracy theory. these conspiracy theories, most of them are used to distract you. Here's a tip. Find 2 or 3 conspiracy theorist podcasts that don't do what I do. They just show videos and react to those videos. Well, tell me how many videos that they all share. They're trying to keep you in a cycle. They are trying to keep you in a cycle, but to have a progressive thought about these type of conspiracy theories, I'm telling you, you must engage, which is why I'm engaging with you right now, because you have to be on top of everything. You know? Someone please tell me if I'm wrong. You know? And I know what you're thinking. Oh, Buddha, you forgot to explain the 7 churches. You forgot to explain the 7 angels. Yeah, because again, it's common sense. The 7 churches of God are here in the Americas. You understand? We are the only temples in the world that have celestial angels presiding over these temples. I promise you that. I promise you that. That's why they're so afraid now, because they feel it. They feel it before we feel it. You understand? And just like those cows, just like those ducks, just like those ants that felt something that they couldn't explain, they went around in a circle. And what does it mean when people who are about to be attacked go running around in a circle? They have nowhere to go. They have absolutely nowhere to go. They have absolutely nowhere to hide. I mean, really think about it. Let's talk about this for a second. Think about how many products have melanin in it. Your toothpaste, your shower gel, your hair wash. Think about that for a second. This is a cannibalistic state. 7 angels, 7 churches, 7 cities of gold. El Dorado was just one city. And El Dorado was found in Florida. Either Florida or Alabama, one of them. Come on now, y'all. Y'all have to be, come on now. If this is truly the old world, then we have all the legends right here. It's just people came from different parts of this land and told different stories, but they were talking about the same land. Plato was talking about the same land. The island of Pompeii is due to return, which is why we have the volcano erupting in the Gulf Coast, because that's where Pompeii was. So if that's Pompeii, does that make Mexico Rome? Does that make Florida Egypt? And Israel was always north of Egypt. Always. Israel was always north of Egypt. Y'all ready to have those type of conversations? Come on now, y'all. Y'all gotta start putting 2 to 2 together. You understand? Y'all, again, folks, it's about to start showing. We're about to find out who's really doing this because they love to do it and who's doing this because they're getting a check from it. Because I'm telling you right here, I'm telling you right now, that when you vote Biden back in office, because like I said, he's going to finish what he started. And I know what a lot of you homunculus chimeras are thinking, oh, you talking about what he did when he got with the Obama nation. No. I mean, he's going to finish what he started with the Clintons. They whole clientele. Oh yeah, we've been knocking everybody off. Everybody wants to talk about how P. Diddy ran to some Caribbean island. He's dead. He's dead. You get caught for human trafficking in these lands, that is a death wish. Because the sentence is death. He is dead. We are looking for his master. You know, the one who he was sleeping with that owns his record label. We're looking for his master and his master's kids. And we're going to kill them too. Because we're tired of it. We are absolutely tired of it. Hollywood's been shut down. Washington, D.C.'s been shut down. Walt Disney's about to be shut down. What do all of these three places have in common? One, they are all big tourist sites. So if someone pops up there and disappears, no one really notices. Two, they are all politically immune from search and seizures within the public view. Hollywood is a sovereign land. Washington, D.C. is a sovereign land. And Walt Disney is a sovereign land. DeSantis done proved that to you. If that house nigga ain't do nothing else, he proved that. And number three, and the most important thing from Walt Disney has 4 or 5 tunnels. 3 of those tunnels are here in North America. 1 goes to Washington and 2 goes to Hollywood. From Hollywood to Washington, there is 1 tunnel that they share. All 3 of those are gone now. And it's not like y'all are going to miss Walt Disney because it was too expensive for you anyway. You can barely afford your rent. Kids don't really care about Walt Disney. You take them to a beach, you take them to a water park, and they will be fine. If not, you got some spoiled ass kids. Take their phone away and let them have their imagination again. But yes, so like I said, be ready for the 3 days of night. Be ready. Be ready for the wedding that is going to be taking place, because I am very excited. I'm very ecstatic. Be ready for the sacrifice that's going to be made. I'm very happy, very excited. And be ready to feel the heavens move on earth. To all of you who feel like I have forgotten, I have not forgotten. Give me just a second. Okay. As you can see here, I have everything jotted down. And the next video that is going to be made is Natural Born Freemasons. And then after that, we're going to do part 2 for Stop Blaming White People. Y'all ready for a grown-up conversation? Of course you're not. Because I'll tell you like this. White folks, we're going to have to pay white folks reparations. For all those that survive anyway. We're going to have to pay them reparations because We were the slave owners. So again, divine karma, divine justice, divine retribution, because it is against God's law to make any man a slave. But that's what we did. Because I don't know, we were fucked up for doing it. It was wrong that we did it. We reaped what we sowed, and yeah, now it's over with. And like I said, do not fall back into it. When we get our reparations and the economy falls and they start saying, yeah, we got white slaves here, do not, under any circumstances, give into your ignorant ways. Do not take a white slave. You have plenty of your own people that can work. That's another reason why all these migrants are here. These migrants are here to work our fields and lands. Do not be ignorant and start buying white slaves just because you're under the misconception of what slavery actually was. We owned slaves. It was us. It was the Mauritanians, who they called the Sephardic Jews, and it was the albinos from Germany. We did this. We've paid for it. We're moving on now. Again, do not take any white slaves, or you're going to fuck around and find out just how real that law is. Don't let your vengeance cloud your judgment of your heart. Me personally, I don't want to see another homunculus chimera ever again in my life. I never want to see them ever again in my life. That's how much disdain that I have for these creatures, these parasites, these demons, these homunculus chimeras. I never want to see them again. So why the hell would you want to see them as slaves? Especially when they can't do anything right. If they survive, we're sending them back east so those Moors can deal with them, since it's the Moors that helped those damn albinos in the war anyway. We're going to be talking about that too. The very first Masonic War, the Albino Melanin War. Y'all not ready for a grown person conversation? But yes, this has been Fat Man Buddha. I'd like to say thank you for continuously tuning in. I do not know. I recently heard from my brother-in-law. He was like, man, how come you don't drop no more videos? I was like, man, I've been dropping videos. I just dropped a new video. He was like, man, notification ain't been going off on my phone. I was going to be ignorant about it and be like, oh yeah, that's because a white man trying to hold me. Man, fuck all that shit. Again, we are shutting down YouTube. YouTube is being sued all over the world, and YouTube can no longer function. So, well, YouTube can function if YouTube gives its livelihood over to the people. But because YouTube doesn't want to give its livelihood over to the people, they're going to dissolve YouTube. Why? Because of wokeness. Funniest thing I've ever heard in the world. But like I said, if I do this because I love it, not because I'm getting paid for it. And we're about to see how many people do it because they love it and not because they get paid for it. To all you people on YouTube who sold out, I want to know what y'all react. I hope y'all post your reaction. I can't believe this, y'all. YouTube just left us high and dry. But if you want to donate to my cause of telling the truth, give to my Cash App. Fuck out of here, bitch. This has been Fat Man Buddha. This has been Copper Tone News. And forever, be at peace.
So their system is not stopping. And then finally, I want to say that we need one idea. And we're not thinking about a solution to the problem. We're dealing with all these other things, but these are diversions from the solution to the problem. And we have to start to think about a solution to the problem so that these young brothers and sisters who are here now, who are 15, 16, and 17, are not here 25 years later talking about these same problems. Now, how do I know that the white people know that we are going to come up with a solution to the problem? I know it because they have retina scans, they have what they call racial profiling, DNA banks, and they're monitoring our people to try to prevent the one person from coming up with the one idea. And the one idea is how we are going to exterminate white people, because that, in my estimation, is the only conclusion I have come to. We have to exterminate white people off of the face of the planet to solve this problem. Now, I don't care whether you clap or not, but I'm saying to you that we need to solve this problem because they are going to kill us. And I will leave on that. So we have to just set up our own system and stop playing and get very serious and not be diverted.
So not only do you have to free the land and help to liberate the rest of the planet Earth for political power again, you'll have to do it so that all humanity can once again get back on its proper course. And we can live life as it's supposed to be lived. Become more godlike. The object of this knowledge is to be a reflection of yourself in the mirror of history. And when you look in that mirror, you will see God, because each one of us are in the image of the Creator, the Ancient of Days, with the lamb woolly hair and the color of amber. And as Jeremiah said, he looked like the pitch of oven. Each one of us are reflections. When we look in the mirror, we see God. God shining forth from us. And if you truly believe in the Creator, then you know that you cannot accept a life other than the highest and the best that you can get out of it.